Dun, dun. Hello, rockers. Here we are with chapter 7 already, half the book, I think. Well, this one is called The Apple Barrel. Dun, 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 dun. Have you read it? Did you like it? Remember, characters sitting in place, sitting in time. We are on the ship, okay? So it says, aboard the Hispaniola, now at sea after leaving Bristol. The action takes place mainly on the ship's deck and inside the apple barrel, where Jim hides. Yes, the open sea setting reflects both freedom and danger. Isolation makes rebellion deadly. Atmosphere, calm on the surface, singing, laughter, waves, but beneath it lies tension, deceit, and a sense of impending mutiny. Now, setting in time again, mid 18th century during the age of sail around 1750, 1760, probably. Ships were the main means of exploration and trade. Voyages lasted months. The chapter mirrors this historical period's spirit of adventure, greed, and colonial ambition. Now, historical context. Life at sea. Sailors sang sea shanties to pass time, to spend time, and coordinate work. This explains the song Jim hears. Discipline and hierarchy. A ship was a strict micro society, captain, officers, and crew, but beneath the surface, mutiny and smuggling were common. Pirate mentality. Pirates followed a code of loyalty only among themselves. Mutiny was part of their hidden culture. Colonial greed. Treasure represented not only gold, but the dream of wealth through conquest. A moral criticism of imperial ambition. Historical events are very important here. Type of narrator and narrative. Jim Hawkins is the narrator, first person. He's recalling, yes, remember that he's recalling his memories. Narrative style, personal, descriptive, innocent, but perceptive. Perspective. Jim's point of view, limited knowledge. Increases suspense. Defect. The reader experiences the revelation with Jim, surprise, fear, disbelief, everything together. Now, let's start with the characters and their traits. Many of them we know already, okay? Jim Hawkins, the narrator and protagonist, curious, observant, courageous, resourceful. Long John Silver, the cook, the secret leader of the pirates. Yeah, this is what Jim was thinking of. Cunning, astuto, persuasive, double-faced, charismatic. Captain Smollett, the ship's captain, responsible, firm, cautious. Mr. Arrow, first mate, weak, undisciplined, careless. He was often drinking a lot of rum. Nobody knew where he took it from. And then we have the important information after. Dr. Livesey, doctor and moral authority, calm, intelligent, protective. Squire Trelawney, financier of the voyage, generous but naive. The crew, pirates, Silver's followers, superstitious, greedy, two-faced again. Now, hey, what about me? What was the parrot's name? Who did it belong to? Yes, that he was singing, repeating a phrase that we learned in the previous chapters. Okay, I love them. Do you want to see the entrance again? Yes, let's go for it. Dun dun, he appears. Hey, what about me? Yes, he receives the name of the old sailor, the old pirate. Now, who is Mr. Arrow? Coming back to him. He's the first mate of the Hispaniola, okay? Second in command after Captain Smollett. However, he fails as a leader. He's irresponsible, drinks secretly, and cannot control the crew. Later in this chapter, he mysteriously disappears, possibly falling overboard drunk. though readers suspect foul play. Somebody pushed him. Mhm. He represents weak authority and the danger of incompetence at sea. Unfortunately, now, as vocabulary, we got barrel, this large wooden container used to store liquids or food. The deck, yes, the flat surface of a ship where sailors work. Shanty, it's a song sung, una canción cantada by sailors to keep rhythm. Helm, steering wheel of a ship. Yes, I forgot the picture. Hold, lower part of a ship where cargo is stored. Watch, a shift or period of duty on a ship. Mutiny, rebellion against the captain or officers. Spyglass, small telescope used by sailors. Yes, when they do this. All right, but they also use it as the name of part of the island. It's on the map, if you remember. Seagull, seabird often seen following ships. Rations, food supplies divided for each sailor. Phrasal verbs, we have set sail, begin a sea voyage. They set sail early in the morning. Listen in, secretly hear a conversation. Jim listened in from inside the apple barrel. Find out, discover. He found out about the pirates' plan. Look out, be careful. Jim looked out for any danger. Quiet, to say nothing. Yes, not to speak. Jim kept quiet about what he had heard. Sneak in, to enter quietly. He sneaked into the barrel to get an apple. Stay up, remain awake. Jim stayed up late watching the stars and the moon, the full moon. Fall overboard, fall into the sea. Mr. Arrow probably, remember, probably fell overboard. Look after, take care of. Dr. Livesey looked after the men's health. Carry on, continue. The crew carried on singing and drinking, working. The main ideas. The Hispaniola begins her voyage. Very good. Her. Remember that the ships are feminine, so you will hear she or her. Those are the pronouns. The Hispaniola begins her voyage to Treasure Island. Jim feels excited but uneasy. He prefers to stay on deck. The sailors sing sea chanties, reminding him means Jim, of the old seaman, Bell, from the Admiral Benbow Inn. Mr. Arrow disappoints Captain Smollett. He is unreliable and possibly drunk. Some more ideas. Jim hides in the apple barrel to get fruit and overhears a secret conversation. He discovers that Long John Silver and many sailors are pirates planning a mutiny. Once the treasure is found, Jim decides to warn the captain and the loyal men. The chapter marks a turning point. Innocence ends, danger begins. So let's see some debatable questions. Well, there are a lot. Pay attention. Should Jim have been on deck so late at night? Maybe not. But curiosity led him to an important discovery. Why does Stevenson use the image of the apple barrel? Stevenson is the author. It symbolizes innocence turning into knowledge. Okay. It reminds me of El Chavo, yeah, the apple barrel. What does Jim's discovery tell us about listening and awareness? Sometimes paying attention saves lives. Why do the sailors sing? To bond, yes, to forget fear, to show false unity. What does Jim learn about human nature? That people can smile and lie at the same time. How does Silver manipulate the sailors? Through charm, intelligence, and promises of gold. What does Mr. Arrow represent? Weak leadership and the dangering of incompetence. Why does Captain Smollett seem unpopular? Because he enforces discipline and honesty. What is the mood before Jim hides in the barrel? Peaceful and suspicious, a deceptive calm. How does this chapter build suspense? Through contrast, songs above, secrets below. Above, below. Should Jim have told the others immediately? Yes, but because silence could have cost their lives. Like he got to help them, yeah, get together. Why is secrecy a key theme here? Knowledge is power. Jim now holds dangerous information. How does Stevenson portray pirates? As intelligent but morally corrupt, yes, both human and monstrous. Monstrous. Why do you think Mr. Arrow disappears? Possibly murdered? But his weakness made him expendable. Does Jim act heroically or by accident? A bit of both. Fate and courage meet. What makes Long John Silver such a powerful villain? His friendliness hides cruelty. He is a master manipulator. How does the sea function symbolically? It represents both freedom and isolation. Could mutiny be justified under certain conditions? Only if leadership is cruel, but not for greed. What lesson does Jim learn from this event? To trust actions, not appearances. How does this chapter mark a turning point? It changes the tone from adventure to survival. All right, so look at this one now. We have a review of this chapter, but I erased the verbs. Okay, so you can screenshot it and you can complete the verbs. The retelling in the present, I prefer. All right, but you have present simple, present perfect, present continuous. There may be some passive voice in the present. Okay, have a look. This is the first part. There are three parts. Okay, in chapter 7, the apple barrel, the real danger of the voyage, finally revealed. We got to the second part when Jim inside an apple barrel to get some fruit. He a conversation that everything. And finally, this one. This chapter, a turning point in Treasure Island, through suspense and contrast, music versus dangers, night versus revelation, Stevenson, the author, themes of trust, deception, maturity. Okay, well, I hope you can leave your answers here. If you have questions, please let me know. All right. Dun, 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 dun. See you later, alligator.